Hello, markeedragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and today I've got Mandy with me, who I think is a hardcore EVE Online player.
Very hardcore.
Mandy, what is your name in-game?
I'm Aura Bulwark,
Okay.
and I'm in the Aftermath Corporation of Broken Toys Alliance.
Okay. And so tell me, why do you play EVE?
Well, one of my friends kind of stated it best. You come for the gameplay, come for the challenge, and then the people you know in EVE and get to know are what make you honestly stay for years and years and years.
So it's community.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. I've experienced that in other games. And it's a very strong, strong binding to the game, stickiness.
Right.
How long have you been playing EVE Online?
Oh, since mid 2008, so a little while.
Wow, wow, yeah, that is quite a while. Um, so, what is it about the? I mean, okay, so we got the community aspect.
Right.
What is it? What is it about the game that? Well, what first brought you to it? How did you get started?
Well, first I was playing another game, and a few friends from that game said, "Hey, we're playing this game. You want to try it?" And so I logged in, and I was on my laptop, and so I got like a white screen because my video card was horrible at the time, and there's little black dots floating around on the white screen. I'm like, "Oh, that's not going to work." So I actually went out and got a computer so I could play Eve because I saw all the interfaces, and I'm like, "No, I want to play this where it looks prettier."
Hmm.
And once I got to where it looked prettier, I'm like, "All right, I want to kill something." And you go around, you chase your starter rats and little things like that, and all of a sudden you're flying through space and another player shoots your ship, and this is your first ship, and it's horrifying and gut-wrenching, and then you realize you can do that back to that person, and that was kind of what sunk it for me. Is what got me addicted.
So it becomes that quest to become more powerful, so you can go kick that guy's ass.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now you mentioned that you went out and got a new computer so that you could enjoy it better. Now, Eve has some of the most amazing graphics in it.
Yes. They are honestly some of the prettiest gameplay graphics I have seen ever, and I've explored other games, I've dabbled in other games, and I've always come back to Eve.
Hmm.
Um, Part of it is, like I said, the community, but at the same time, there's no other game out there that gives you that sense of loss and complete gut-wrenching misery. And I make it sound like you absolutely hate the game, and some days, yes, you do.
Hmm.
But that's what makes it more real and more enjoyable. Um, the graphics were good back then. They have since made the characters awesome looking. The ships, you can actually see the little gun turrets move on the ships now, and it's very pretty, but at the same time you're scrolling in to look at your new toy. It's literally a moving model of something you would have in your office or your room, or it's literally a model toy that's just on screen doing stuff for you.
Hmm. Hmm. The some of the screenshots I've seen, and my computer can't run the graphics at the full high end. So, are you all the way on the top end? Do you have everything on high?
I am now for the big fleet fights where they get to like 500 guys plus. You pretty much just can't do that. You will lag out. But I do play it on high for the most part. Again, until I get into those larger battles, and then it's just I'm gonna get killed if I leave it on that high.
So if that's an issue whenever you get into those large battles, is there some instant switch to dumb down the graphics, or do you know you're going to go into that battle ahead of time, and so you set up differently?
With the larger battles, you usually do know a little bit ahead of time. Your FC will be like, all right, he'll warn you, we're going into this situation. You very rarely jump into a 1,000-man, person in local. It does happen. I have been the lone ship in local going, oh, there's lots of people fighting each other in here. I'm gonna go get on, that person's kill mail, but it very rarely happens by surprise.
Hmm. So, what Now you mentioned big fleets of ships and everything, and so tell me a little bit about your corp, and a corp in here is like, for those people who have never played Eve, it's like a guild.
Right. Well, the Corp Aftermath we actually founded from a couple different corps when we left our old alliance, mostly harmless, years and years ago. And we basically came out to a 0-0, and that's basically the beginner level of the beginner areas or zones of the game is high sec for the most part. I mean, you can still get killed there, but it's a little bit safer. Null sec is more like the PvP zone of another game. It's basically a free for all. We came out here and we formed our alliance from a couple different corps that were basically thrown together. A corp is like a guild, but at the same time, it basically is a part of a bigger guild, which is the alliance. Usually the corp guys will know each other's, phone numbers, birthdays, kids, and, in the alliance, you'll be a little bit stepped back from that in most alliances. We try to run ours a little bit differently. Like, I have pretty much everybody on Facebook. We all know each other's phone numbers and that sort of thing. I try to remember everybody's kid's name, but, there's a certain level where it's just not going to happen every day.
Right. Yeah. So, and with now, if somebody's new to the game, is your corp friendly to newbies?
We are. Usually we have them train a frigate skill and make them able to use a micro warp, which makes their ship go faster, and basically a warp disruptor, which makes them able to stop the bad guy that they're jumping on. So we usually have them out in advance of the fleets.
Oh, really? Use the newbies as cannon fodder?
Well, no, they
For the
have
front
very.
lines?
We're all cannon fodder in this game. Let's be really honest. But no, we usually send them out in advance of the fleets, and they tackle first, and then they have the bigger ships warp in on them, and they basically hold the bad guys there. So they're actually some of our more important fleet dynamics, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
But
interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting that someone who is new to the corp or new to the game can be an important part of the team.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know we had, I think, two guys yesterday that literally just came in, and they're already out in our staging area, and a couple of the smaller ships like rifters and frigates, stuff like that, and they're already ready to go kill something. So,
And so how long do you think they've been playing?
literally 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And
they
so
literally did. They did the starter missions, and I told them, get in the ship and get these two mods that'll make you able to get the bad guy for us, and get out to our staging area. So they basically learned where all the buttons were, and we told them come on out.
So that's interesting. Do they have to have a full account, or can they join on a trial account?
They can join most of our corps on a trial account. I know our corp specifically, we actually have a starter corp for our corp in the alliance. But they can join that on a trial account, and they'll be in the alliance. They'll be in the same fleets with everybody in the same comms. It's just basically so they have different fits that are saved under the corp fittings, different bookmarks, stuff like that. That makes it a little bit more new player friendly.
So if I wanted to spend a day playing Eve Online and join you guys for a day, would I be able to get into some good battles?
Yeah, probably. We do smaller roams as well as larger battles pretty much every day. So yeah.
Yeah.
As long as
So,
as long as you made it out to where the brunt of us were and didn't get killed, multiple times trying to get to us. Which we usually throw scouts to our new guys and say, "Hey, go get that guy in." But yeah, as long as you can get to where we are and that sort of thing, yeah, we'll usually get you in a pretty good fight with some good kills.
that's cool. That's cool, because I've been thinking about getting back into the game again. So that has my wheels turning. Yeah. So tell me about you talked about the thrill of being chased by another player and trying to get away. Tell me about one of your most memorable moments like that.
I would have to say it's literally the very first ship I lost, and at the time I thought it was this ultimately cool thing because I I basically did some of the starter things, and then I went off and kind of did my own thing because the starter skills were just not advanced enough for what I wanted to do, right? So I went out and I was sitting in my ship, and I was just kind of going through space, and I didn't realize that I had ventured into nullsec space, which again is the more PvP zone.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I get tackled by this ship. And at the time, it was honestly another newer player. He had maybe been there for 3 or 4 days, and he tackled my ship, and he wasn't really killing me, but he was kind of slowly getting me down. And I told my fiance, who had literally just started playing, I'm like, I'm tackled, come save me. And we literally went up against this frigate for the better part of half an hour. I don't think
Half
any of us.
hour? How long
Yeah,
do
none
the
of us
battles
knew what we were.
last?
Oh, no, no, no. They usually last about 2 minutes. None of us knew what we were doing at the time.
Oh, okay.
And and so we're basically in this three-way battle. And somebody comes along and they literally own all of us in like 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And so we convoed the other guy that was fighting us, and we're like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly what sticks in my mind the most. Now, for huge battles, the battle for O2O, of course, with 3,000 people in local, and we're all lagged to not being able to log in. Some of the guys got epic kills. I was literally staring at a black screen for 10 hours trying to get into this game. So that was honestly one that just honestly still kills me, that I was not able to get into that fight.
Mm-hmm. So now, there's not a whole lot of women that, I mean, what are there more women that play Eve than other games, or are you the same minority as in other games?
Um, I'd say we're a minority, but honestly, I've not run into too many alliances or corps that don't have at least one or two female players. Like, I know I've gotten to play with some of probably the longer standing female players in the game, like Wittershin and PL now. She used to be in Irrelevant, and Wicked Princess, and Princess Eve, and we've definitely, we all run into each other from time to time, and we kind of give each other a head nod, and most of us are in the all girls channel, but for the most part, we're definitely still a smaller portion of the game, than in other games. Like, I know Guild Wars has just a huge female following, and there's a couple other games like that, but we're the minority. But at the same time, there's, like I said, there's at least one in pretty much every corp.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they'll speak up or not is the question.
So if somebody was searching for a new game to play, and I assume you would recommend Eve Online as a game that they should try.
Of
What
course.
would you tell them?
Well, we actually literally had one of my fiance's work friends just basically get persuaded over to the dark side by us. We told him, you've got to try this game, because he's very into first person shooters. He likes that sort of gameplay, and we were originally telling him about Dust, and he's like, no, I can't wait that long. And so we're like, all right, well, we'll try to show you Eve a little bit, and we kind of told him, well, come to our place, and we'll show you how we play. And we literally, we pulled up YouTube, we pulled up a few other things, and we showed him some of the actual fights and gameplay that went on, and he was hooked after he saw the gameplay. But from hearing it, they ask, what makes this so different from a first person shooter or another MMO. And it's honestly, it's pretty, it's functional, but it has that sense of actual loss that you don't get a lot in other games. Because once you die, you lose your ship, and I mean, this is this is your ship. This is what you're fighting in. You can lose skill points on your training on your clone. A lot of other games don't do that. They just kind of send you back to the spawn area. But yeah, there's an actual tangible sense of loss, and I want to say there's just a lot of strategy too in the fighting that goes on. And if you've got a corp or alliance out there in this big fleet battle, and you win. It's like a party all of a sudden.
Hmm.
But if you lose that fight, oh my goodness, it's just gut wrenching. And he got to see part of that because we actually had one of the videos from one of the big fleet fights on YouTube, and you could hear all the guys cheering in the background and stuff. It was funny. But yeah, that was basically our recruiting moment.
Hmm. Okay, well, it sounds like a lot of fun. So I'll put a link in the description of this video to where we actually happen to have. I mean, Markee Dragon's an authorized reseller for CCP for EVE Online, and we happen to have free trial accounts that you can get from us. So if any of you have not played the game before and you want to try it, we've got free trial account codes for you. And and then, hook up with Mandy here, and, she'll get you set up in a corp.
And we'll get you some very nice kills.
Yes, so that sounds like a lot of fun. In fact, one that I might even talk to you about, offline or whatever. So, because, I've been thinking about getting back into EVE Online, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to, I think having a hand or whatever would
Right.
propel me a long way really quickly on the startup of the game. So, yeah. Okay, Mandy. Well, thank you very much for your interview, for your time.
Thank
And
you. See ya.
and how do newbies who don't know how to do anything, if they wanted to join your alliance or your corp and participate with that, how do they get in touch with you?
They push the little email icon in the top of their little sidebar.
Hmm.
And there's literally a little mail icon, and they just send me a message to Aura Bulwark, AURA space BOLVERK. And we'll get
Okay.
you set up.
Okay, and that's also in the video right here. You can see it right on the screen right now. So get in touch. Okay, Mandy, thank you very much.
Thanks, appreciate it.